The solar apocalypse, our star's secret war against humanity. Imagine waking up tomorrow to absolute silence. No humming refrigerator, no buzzing phone notifications, no distant traffic sounds. You reach for your phone dead. You flip the light switch, nothing. You turn on the radio, static. In this moment of confusion, you step outside and realize that your entire neighborhood, your city, your country has been plunged into complete darkness. This isn't the plot of a dystopian movie. This is the inevitable reality that awaits us all. And the countdown has already begun. The celestial serial killer. For 4.6 billion years, our sun has been humanity's greatest benefactor, nurturing life on Earth with its gentle warmth and light. But what most people don't realize is that this cosmic giant harbors a terrifying secret. It's also our potential destroyer, a celestial serial killer capable of ending modern civilization without warning. The evidence is already accumulating around us, hidden in plain sight. Every few years, our star demonstrates its lethal capabilities, sending electromagnetic assassins racing across the solar system at millions of miles per hour. These invisible bullets have already found their marks, and the casualties are mounting. In August 1972, during the peak of the Vietnam War, something inexplicable occurred that military experts couldn't explain for 40 years. Deep beneath the waters of North Vietnam's Hapong Harbor, dozens of American naval mines suddenly began exploding in perfect synchronization. These weren't enemy attacks or mechanical failures. These weapons had been triggered by an invisible force from 93 million miles away. The culprit, our sun, had fired the first shot in its silent war against human technology. The electromagnetic pulse from hell. What happened in Vietnam was just a preview of the sun's hidden arsenal. Throughout history, our star has been quietly perfecting its ability to reach across the void and cripple human civilization. Each attack has been more devastating than the last, and each one serves as a warning of what's coming. September 1, 1859. English astronomer Richard Carrington was peacefully observing the sun through his telescope when he witnessed something that would change history forever. Two brilliant flashes erupted from the solar surface, the birth cry of the most powerful electromagnetic weapon ever recorded. 18 hours later, the weapon found its target. The Carrington Event, as it's now known, turned the night sky into a blazing inferno of red, green, and purple light. People across North America and Europe woke up in the middle of the night, convinced it was morning because the auroras were so bright they could read newspapers by their glow. But this celestial beauty came with a price. Every telegraph system on Earth caught fire. Telegraph operators received electric shocks so severe that some could send messages using nothing but the atmospheric electricity generated by the storm. Sparks flew from telegraph poles, and communication networks that had taken decades to build were destroyed in minutes. The world had received its first taste of solar warfare, and humanity was completely defenseless. The pattern of destruction. May 15, 1921. The sun struck again, this time targeting the railway systems that were the lifeblood of early 20th century commerce. The Great Railroad Storm crippled telegraph communications across entire continents, turning train schedules into chaos and stranding millions of passengers in a transportation nightmare that lasted weeks. March 13, 1989. 6 million Canadians in Quebec woke up to find their entire province had been plunged into darkness. The sun's electromagnetic pulse had overloaded the power grid in seconds, creating a cascading failure that left families trapped in elevators, hospitals struggling without power, and entire cities resembling ghost towns. But perhaps the most terrifying near miss occurred on July 23, 2012. While the world worried about Mayan calendar predictions, the real apocalypse was brewing 93 million miles away. The sun unleashed two of the most powerful electromagnetic bursts ever recorded, eruptions so massive they could have sent civilization back to the Stone Age. The only reason you're reading this today is pure luck. Earth was on the opposite side of its orbit when the attack occurred. Had this solar assault happened just 9 days earlier, we would still be living in the aftermath of what scientists call the Internet apocalypse, the invisible war machine. To understand the true horror of what we're facing, you need to peer beneath the sun's deceptively peaceful exterior. Deep within its core, a violent electromagnetic war is constantly raging. Magnetic field lines twist and contort like invisible serpents, building pressure until they finally snap with the force of billions of nuclear bombs. When this happens, the sun launches what scientists call coronal mass ejections, billion-ton chunks of electrified plasma that hurtle through space at over 1 million miles per hour. These aren't just random bursts of energy. They're guided missiles designed by physics to seek out and destroy everything electronic in their path. Each CME carries the energy equivalent of 10 billion 1 megaton nuclear bombs. To put this in perspective, that's enough power to supply all of humanity's energy needs for millions of years, compressed into a weapon that can cross the solar system in less than 2 days. The technology trap. Here's the cruel irony: the more technologically advanced we become, the more vulnerable we are to solar attacks. Every smartphone, every satellite, every GPS system, every power grid represents another target in the sun's electromagnetic crosshairs. The proof is already appearing in disturbing ways. In 2016, cybersecurity expert Maria Mo felt her pacemaker malfunction mid-flight as invisible solar particles corrupted the device's computer memory, forcing her heart into emergency backup mode. A Qantas flight over Australia plummeted hundreds of feet twice when solar radiation flipped a single bit in the aircraft's navigation system, injuring dozens of passengers. These aren't isolated incidents, they're reconnaissance attacks from a star that's preparing for something much bigger. The solar maximum apocalypse. Right now, as you read these words, the sun is entering solar maximum 2025, the peak of its 11-year cycle of violence. Instead of the predicted 125 monthly sunspots, our star is generating nearly 200, shattering records that have stood for 2 decades. Each sunspot is a magnetic battlefield where the sun's fury builds toward explosive release. Currently, our star is launching at least one electromagnetic attack per week, and some weeks witness multiple eruptions powerful enough to cripple entire continents. The most terrifying part: scientists have discovered that solar flares have no upper limit. While they've classified them from harmless B-class to devastating X-class, some storms transcend even these categories. The Carrington Event was an X45 class flare. The 2012 near miss was X28, but theoretical models suggest that X10 or even X1000 class flares are possible. Imagine the destructive power of a weapon 20 times stronger than the worst solar storm in recorded history. That's not science fiction, that's a mathematical possibility that keeps astrophysicists awake at night. When Earth's shield fails, for centuries, Earth's magnetic field has served as our invisible shield against solar attacks. But here's the terrifying truth that governments don't want you to know. Our defense system is failing. Over the past 200 years, Earth's magnetic field strength has declined by approximately 10%. If this trend continues, we're approaching a point where our planetary shield may become useless against even moderate solar storms. We're essentially watching our armor crumble while our enemy grows stronger. When the next Carrington-level event strikes, and experts agree it's not a matter of if, but when, our weakened magnetic field will offer little protection against the sun's electromagnetic artillery. The modern battlefield. Today's world presents the perfect target for solar warfare. We have thousands of satellites orbiting above us, each one a potential casualty. In 2022, SpaceX lost $50 million worth of satellites to a single geomagnetic storm that was considered a minor event. On the ground, our power grids have become massive antennas, perfectly designed to capture and amplify solar electromagnetic pulses. When the next major CME strikes, these same systems that power our civilization will become the weapons that destroy it. The economic implications are staggering. A moderate solar storm today could cost the global economy over $2.6 trillion more than the combined damage of Hurricane Katrina, Hurricane Harvey, and every major wildfire in recent American history. Recovery could take up to a decade, assuming we can recover at all. The perfect storm scenario. Here's what scientists believe will happen when the next Carrington-level event strikes. Within minutes of impact, power grids across multiple continents will begin failing in a cascading collapse. Transformers, designed to handle alternating current, will be flooded with direct current, causing them to overheat, melt, or explode. The same technology that connects our modern world will become a network of destruction. Communication satellites will go dark one by one as radiation fries their circuits. GPS systems worldwide will fail, leaving 10,000 aircraft flying blind at any given moment. Some will manage emergency landings, but many others will face catastrophic situations. Banking systems will crash as their servers lose power and communication links fail. ATMs will become useless metal boxes. Credit cards will be worthless pieces of plastic. The global economy will grind to a halt within hours. Hospitals will struggle as life support systems fail and patient records become inaccessible. Water treatment plants will shut down, leaving millions without clean water. Food distribution networks will collapse as refrigeration systems fail and logistics become impossible. But perhaps most terrifying of all, this devastation will be global and simultaneous. Unlike hurricanes or earthquakes that affect specific regions, solar storms know no borders. They strike everywhere at once, overwhelming any possibility of international aid or coordinated response. The race against extinction. NASA's Parker Solar Probe is humanity's last hope of understanding our enemy before it's too late. Traveling at 430,000 miles per hour, this spacecraft is diving closer to the sun than any human-made object in history. By 2025, it will actually touch the sun's corona, potentially unlocking secrets that could save our species. Meanwhile, artificial intelligence systems are learning to read the sun's violent moods. NASA's Dagger system can now provide 30 minutes of warning before a solar storm strikes, barely enough time to shut down critical systems if we're lucky. But here's the harsh reality. 30 minutes isn't enough to save civilization. It's barely enough to send a text message warning before the networks go down forever. The asteroid nobody talks about. While governments spend billions tracking asteroids that might threaten Earth, they're largely ignoring the far more immediate and devastating threat hanging directly above us. Solar storms are the asteroids that strike in darkness, invisible and unavoidable. Unlike space rocks that we can potentially deflect or destroy, there's absolutely nothing we can do to stop a solar electromagnetic pulse once it's been fired. Our only option is to watch it approach for 18 to 72 hours and hope our hastily erected defenses can withstand the assault. The silent countdown. Every day that passes without a major solar storm is another day of borrowed time. Statistical models suggest that a Carrington-level event occurs roughly once every 150 years. It's been over 160 years since the last one. By any measure, we are overdue. Government agencies worldwide have quietly begun preparing for what they consider inevitable. The UK has listed severe space weather as one of their highest priority national threats. The US has established emergency monitoring stations and developed evacuation protocols. Power companies are racing to upgrade infrastructure, but the scale of the threat may be beyond any reasonable preparation. The question has shifted from if to when, and the answer may be sooner than we think, beyond the point of no return. As our magnetic field continues weakening and our dependence on technology grows exponentially, we're approaching a perfect storm scenario. The next major solar event won't just inconvenience us, it will fundamentally test whether human civilization can survive its own technological success. Some experts believe people born after 1990 will inevitably witness an extraordinary solar storm during their lifetime. Others suggest we may have years to prepare. But one thing is absolutely certain. When our life-giving star reveals its true nature as a cosmic destroyer, the thin veneer of modern civilization will face its ultimate trial. The sun holds the timeline for humanity's greatest challenge, and it's keeping that secret locked away in its magnetic heart. All we can do is watch, wait, and hope we're ready when the countdown reaches zero. Because ready or not, the solar apocalypse is coming. This is the story they don't want you to know, the invisible threat that could end everything we've built. If this revelation opened your eyes to the cosmic danger lurking above us, share this knowledge with everyone you care about. Smash that like button to fuel our mission of uncovering the truths that could save humanity. Subscribe to BrightBoundX and join our global community of truth seekers exploring the most critical mysteries of our universe. The clock is ticking, and knowledge is our only weapon. Will you help us spread the word before it's too late?